At midnight, when the world lies silent and the air itself seems to hold its breath, the unseen realm awakens. The energies that sleep beneath daylight rise to full alertness. This is the hour when destinies are weighed, when light and darkness meet at the crossroads of power. Most people rest, unaware that the night is not only for dreams, it is for warfare. Midnight is the gate between endings and beginnings, the silent courtroom of the spirit world. Those who understand this mystery do not merely sleep through it. They rise. They speak. They command. The moment the clock strikes 12, invisible gatherings take place, powers that monitor human lives whisper in hidden councils. They exchange names, destinies, and decrees. But heaven does not leave the children of light unguarded. The divine gives sacred instructions that look ordinary in the physical, yet blaze with fire in the spirit. One such instruction is the prophetic act of boiling garlic and lemon at midnight, a ritual of reversal and cleansing, a declaration that darkness will no longer observe your path. It may seem simple, but simplicity is the disguise of divine intelligence. In spiritual science, every element of creation carries vibration. Garlic, lemon, salt, and fire are not mere objects. They are instruments of frequency, divine codes of purity and renewal. Garlic vibrates at a frequency that repels decay and demonic interference. Lemon carries the radiant current of light, purifying what was polluted. When the two are united under heat and prayer, their energy becomes a symphony of cleansing, a spiritual firewall rising from your home into the heavens. This is not superstition, it is alignment. It is the same sacred principle that made Moses lift his staff and split the Red Sea, a physical action releasing a spiritual command. Just as Naaman dipped 7 times in the Jordan and came out clean, or as Paul's handkerchief carried healing power, this act becomes a vessel through which faith materializes. The elements obey their creator, and those who act with divine awareness become co-creators in that obedience. When garlic and lemon are brought together at midnight, the language of the spirit shifts. Garlic stands as the barrier of purity, its strong scent shattering invisible walls. Lemon radiates renewal, washing away the residue of dark influence. Together they declare, no more monitoring. No more watching. No more evil eyes tracking my destiny. As the steam ascends, it becomes an offering, carrying your declaration into the higher planes of light. In that moment, your home is no longer open to surveillance. Every mirror of witchcraft loses its reflection. Every unseen eye searching for you in the corridors of envy grows blind. The steam rising from your pot is not vapor, it is the visible form of your command. Fire answers fire. Heaven responds to vibration. You are not merely boiling ingredients, you are transmitting frequencies of victory. So when the world sleeps, rise. Stand before that pot as a warrior before the altar of transformation. Let your intention burn brighter than the flame. The midnight hour belongs to those who understand authority. The physical act is only the vessel, the power lies in faith spoken aloud, words carried on steam, light clothed in scent. In that silence, know that you are not alone. Heaven listens, and darkness trembles. The midnight hour is a sacred threshold, a vibration between two worlds. In the unseen realm, it is known as the hour of exchange, when destinies can be rewritten and curses reversed. That is why the forces of darkness use it to launch their strongest operations. Yet, the same moment that invites demonic movement also opens the gate for divine power. Light and shadow move simultaneously, but whoever commands the hour determines the outcome. When you rise at midnight to perform this prophetic act, you are not merely reacting, you are intercepting. You are declaring spiritual jurisdiction over your space and your time. Heaven recognizes the authority of those who dare to act in faith while the world sleeps. As you stand before the pot, the fire beneath it represents the eternal flame of divine presence, the consuming fire that purges impurities from every corner of your life. Garlic, in its humble form, carries secrets older than civilizations. In ancient Eastern mysticism, it was revered as a plant of protection, known to expel stagnant energy and dissolve spiritual congestion. Its scent announces purity, commanding lower vibrations to flee. When you crush it, you symbolically crush the eyes of darkness that have been following your progress. Each clove breaks like a seal, releasing an invisible perfume that demons cannot withstand. It is the scent of spiritual authority. Lemon, on the other hand, holds the essence of renewal. In the natural realm, it purifies, cuts through impurity, and restores freshness. Spiritually, it radiates solar energy, the light that exposes all deception. When combined with garlic, it becomes the harmony of fire and light, one burns, the other cleanses. Together, they form a circle of divine frequency that no unclean power can penetrate. As you begin to boil them, focus not on the pot but on the invisible message being released. The rising steam carries your decree into the unseen dimensions. Let every evil watcher lose sight of me. Let every hidden gaze turn blind. You are not speaking to the air, you are programming the spiritual atmosphere. The air itself begins to obey. The walls of your home start vibrating with divine frequency. You can feel it in your skin, the shift, the stirring, the quiet tremor of energy realigning. Remember, symbolic actions are the physical language of the invisible world. What you do with faith becomes a code heaven responds to. The enemy also uses symbols, mirrors, candles, names, and objects, to gain access. But the children of light possess a greater authority, for their actions are sanctioned by divine wisdom. When you lift your hand over that pot and declare, "Every evil eye watching me, go blind," the words are recorded by light itself. The angels of the Lord interpret vibration, not language. It is not the word garlic or lemon they respond to, it is the energy of intention, the resonance of faith. In that moment, you are no longer a passive believer. You are a co-creator with divine power. The heat rising from your pot mirrors the spiritual fire rising within you. Each bubble that breaks the surface is a coded release, a signal that the eyes which once observed your pain are now shrouded in darkness. What began as a simple act becomes warfare in motion, a holy conversation between heaven and your spirit. Every battle in the unseen realm begins with awareness. The greatest deception of darkness is to convince the soul that it is not being watched. Yet, the moment you awaken to that truth, you regain authority. The act of boiling garlic and lemon is not about fear, it is about reclaiming vision. It is saying, "I see what once saw me. I name what once hid from me. And by divine power, I command blindness upon it." As you stand in your kitchen or prayer space, the air begins to shift. You can feel an invisible pulse, the meeting point between your declaration and heaven's fire. The steam rising is no longer ordinary vapor, it is your words clothed in energy. You are performing what ancient sages called the alignment of the inner flame. The fire beneath the pot mirrors the fire within your spirit. If your focus wavers, the energy disperses. But if your intention remains firm, your words pierce the veil of darkness like arrows of light. Garlic, in this sacred dialogue, becomes the embodiment of purity that cannot be corrupted. Its pungent strength cuts through invisible residue, a spiritual disinfectant. The moment it meets heat, its fragrance expands, creating an unseen wall around your home. That is why the old mystic said, "Evil flees where purity breathes." Garlic announces that purity has taken dominion. Its smell may offend the senses, but in the spirit, it is the fragrance of victory. Lemon joins as the companion of restoration. Its sharpness represents clarity. Its brightness reflects illumination, the inner light of wisdom that discerns hidden enemies disguised as helpers. When you add it to the boiling mixture, you are calling forth renewal. May every bitterness in my life turn into sweetness. May every tear become fragrance before God. Lemon's essence transforms pain into purification. It turns what was bitter into testimony. As the mixture boils, imagine the steam circling your room, sealing your home like divine smoke rising from a sacred temple. Whisper within yourself, "This is my temple, and no evil watcher shall enter." The moment your words leave your lips, they vibrate into the spiritual dimension. In the unseen, they become flame. Heaven records intention as substance. And now comes the turning point, the prophecy spoken backward. While they thought they were watching me, it was I who was watching them through the eyes of the Spirit. What was meant for your downfall becomes the key to your rising. Every curse is inverted. Every gaze of envy turns to blindness. The hunters become the hunted, and the watchers lose their sight. Do not whisper weakly when you pray. Speak like one who understands that words are forces. Say aloud. Every evil I assign to my destiny, go blind in the name of the eternal light. Every monitor spirit tracing my path, lose your sight forever. Every mirror reflecting my life in secret, shatter by divine fire. As these words echo, angels interpret vibration into warfare. The sound of your faith becomes a trumpet in the heavens. The unseen trembles. The boiling water answers your prayer by releasing steam, the breath of divine fire filling the air. You are not performing a ritual, you are commanding reality. In that moment, the old you dissolves. Fear disappears. You become the warrior you were meant to be, not the watched, but the watcher. You stand in the doorway of time and declare, I am covered by light. My home is surrounded by fire. My destiny is invisible to darkness. As the mixture continues to boil, the room becomes a sanctuary, a meeting ground between realms. You can almost hear the rhythm of your heartbeat merging with the bubbling water, forming a cadence of faith. Every hiss of steam is a response from the invisible. In that moment, you realize the sacred truth: your environment is alive, reactive, and listening. The air holds memory. The walls carry vibration. Every declaration you make is recorded in light. This is where garlic reveals its deeper mystery. Spiritually, it does not merely represent purification, it symbolizes boundary. In ancient Taoist practice, garlic was burned to create energetic shields, believed to repel what they called hungry spirits. In Hebrew mysticism, it was seen as a seal of protection, the scent of covenant between purity and divine fire. And in Christian understanding, it reflects holiness that repels corruption. Across traditions, one truth remains: garlic is the scent of spiritual immunity. When you hold it in your hand, imagine each clove as a fortress, a declaration that no force of envy, hatred, or witchcraft can cross your threshold. The more you crush it, the more it releases, teaching you that spiritual power comes through surrender and breaking. The crushing of garlic mirrors the breaking of your own fear. As it releases its fragrance, it fills the air with spiritual resistance, the kind of power that cannot be counterfeited. Now, focus your gaze on the lemon. Its brightness is not just color, it is light made tangible. In Eastern philosophy, yellow corresponds to clarity and awakening of the solar plexus, the seat of personal power and divine will. When lemon's essence fills the room, it awakens inner authority. It teaches the spirit to stand tall again, to shine unapologetically after seasons of dimming. As its juice meets heat, bitterness turns to vapor, symbolizing pain transmuted into wisdom. This is the first divine collision between your past suffering and your present awakening. The heat rises, the scent intensifies, and within that invisible chemistry, something ancient shifts. The heaviness that once sat in your chest begins to lift. You can feel the unseen bonds loosening. It is no longer just garlic and lemon, it is faith made fragrant, warfare turned into light. Speak now with conviction. Not begging, but commanding. Say, every eye that sought to monitor me, go blind in the presence of divine fire. Every hand raised against me, lose strength before my light. Every spirit sent to trace my footsteps, vanish into the darkness you created. Your words do not dissolve into air, they crystallize in energy. They move like invisible lightning, tracing their way through realms unseen, dismantling networks of surveillance that have lingered in your atmosphere. And as you continue declaring, imagine a mirror shattering, every piece reflecting back the energy once used against you. You are no longer in reaction, you are in dominion. Garlic and lemon are no longer ingredients, they are allies, spiritual extensions of your intention. When the boiling reaches its height, do not move away. Stay and command. The longer you remain in that space, the more your words are engraved into the energy field around you. The fire obeys your voice. The steam obeys your faith. The darkness retreats. You are not just cleansing your home. You are reclaiming your territory. And as the final wave of steam rises, feel it wrapping around you, a mantle of divine purity. You have entered the hour of reversal, and everything that once observed you in secret is now blind. When the boiling reaches its peak, the atmosphere thickens, not with heat, but with presence. You can sense it, an unseen current moving through the room, like the breath of heaven sweeping across your space. The scent of garlic and lemon no longer feels earthly, it vibrates with sacred charge. This is the moment when your faith fuses with divine energy, when your words become law in the unseen. Midnight is not just a time on the clock, it is a portal. It divides one realm from another, one destiny from another. Those who sleep through it miss their summons. But those who rise in awareness enter the court of spiritual transaction. Here, decrees are rewritten, destinies are exchanged, and watchful spirits lose their authority. As you stand before that pot, understand that you are not performing an experiment. You are conducting a spiritual orchestration. Every element has purpose. The fire beneath represents purification, the garlic embodies the fire of holiness, and the lemon channels the light of divine clarity. Together they mirror the sacred trinity found in all wisdom traditions: fire, light, and breath. In Kabbalistic mysticism, this triad is mirrored as spirit, soul, and body. In Shaolin philosophy, it is heaven, earth, and man, the harmony that makes existence whole. When you perform this act consciously, you align yourself with that universal pattern. Heaven observes and says, "This one understands alignment." As the steam rises, whisper words of reversal. Let the sound of your voice ride on the mist like chariots of light. Say, "Every eye that watches my home, be blinded. Every spirit that records my progress, lose your vision now. Every mouth that curses my name, fall silent before the fire of purity." Speak slowly, rhythmically, as though your breath itself were the incense of the temple. Every syllable becomes a ripple in the invisible sea. The power is not in shouting, but in resonance. The universe does not respond to volume, it responds to vibration. Now, pause and breathe deeply. Inhale the scent of lemon, that is the breath of renewal. Exhale your fear, that is the surrender of limitation. You are participating in energetic alchemy, transforming dense energy into light, bitterness into blessing, confusion into clarity. The garlic continues to crackle within the boiling water, releasing wave after wave of spiritual fire. The lemon's oils shimmer on the surface, light upon water, symbolizing the spirit moving over creation. You stand not in superstition but in sacred science, the understanding that creation itself listens to those who are aligned with divine will. In this alignment, something profound happens. The watchers, both human and demonic, begin to lose their hold. Their mirrors fog. Their lenses darken. Their whispers scatter. What once seemed like constant resistance in your life begins to lift. Opportunities reappear. Peace returns. The invisible pressure that haunted your steps dissolves. You begin to realize that garlic and lemon were never just ingredients, they were instruments of awakening. They awakened you. They reminded you that light, when commanded, does not negotiate with darkness, it simply appears, and darkness flees. Stay in that stillness for a moment longer. Listen to the boiling water, it's no longer random sound. It's prophecy in motion. Each bubble declares, the eyes that watched you are now blind. The gates once shut are now open. As the pot continues to simmer, you feel a subtle shift, the atmosphere thickens with awareness. It's as if heaven itself bends closer to listen. The ordinary has turned sacramental. The sound of boiling water becomes your prayer's heartbeat, steady and unwavering. You realize that this moment is not about ingredients but agreement, an alignment between your spirit and divine will. In ancient mysticism, water is known as the element of memory. It absorbs vibration, holds intention, and transmits energy. Fire, by contrast, transforms. It takes what was and turns it into something new. When you combine them under prayer, the result is transmutation, transformation that begins within and radiates outward. The garlic releases purity, the lemon releases clarity, the fire releases empowerment. Together, they birth renewal. Now, let your faith speak again. Every eye that peers into my destiny, be blinded forever. Every shadow that followed my light, vanish now. Every unseen force mapping my progress, dissolve into the fire of God. These are not empty words. They are frequencies, vibrations that cut through the dense fabric of negativity. In Buddhist teachings, it is said that words carry karma. In scripture, it is said that life and death lie in the tongue. Both reveal the same principle: speech shapes reality. When your words align with divine authority, they cease to be mere sounds, they become law. The mixture continues to boil, and the steam fills the air like incense from a sacred altar. You can feel its warmth touching your face, wrapping you in invisible armor. The garlic scent, strong and untamed, announces to every wandering spirit that purity reigns here. The lemon, with its sharp brightness, declares that renewal has entered your home. Together, their fragrance becomes a proclamation: this place is sanctified. This soul is sealed. Stay alert, for this is the moment of exchange, when spiritual gates swing open between one day and the next. Midnight is a hinge of time, and hinges creak when moved. You may sense stirring, a breeze, a tremor, an intuitive awareness that something unseen is shifting. Do not fear it. It is the sound of victory. Lift your hands slightly and let gratitude flow through your breath. Gratitude is the frequency of completion. It seals what prayer begins. Whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for blinding every eye that sought to harm me. Thank you for the light that now surrounds me." Gratitude transforms warfare into worship. It is the final note that closes the song of deliverance. As the fire crackles beneath the pot, imagine the garlic and lemon releasing radiant light, swirling together like golden smoke. Visualize this light filling every corner of your home, walls, doors, windows, leaving no space untouched. See it extending beyond your house, covering your name, your loved ones, your work, your future. In that vision, you are no longer defending yourself. You are expanding. You are radiating divine energy outward, reclaiming territories you didn't even know were yours. The watchers have lost their sight, and now the warrior sees clearly. Stay with that awareness a little longer. Feel the pulse of peace returning. The battle is not outside, it was always within. And as your inner vibration changes, your world rearranges. Garlic and lemon were only the keys, the door they opened is your own awakening. When the final waves of steam rise, you begin to sense completion, a peace that feels both ancient and new. The heat softens, yet the air remains alive with energy. You realize you have crossed a threshold. The act of boiling garlic and lemon has become something far beyond ritual. It is a spiritual covenant, a declaration that your atmosphere belongs to light alone. Now comes the stage of sealing, the moment when intention becomes manifestation. Let the pot remain on the fire a little longer. Watch as the garlic softens, surrendering its form, and the lemon slices glow faintly under the flame. It is a mirror of you, the self-yielding, the heart purified through heat, the soul transformed by pressure. What breaks down in the pot is reborn in spirit. You whisper once more. Every hidden eye, lose your sight. Every envious heart, lose your access. Every dark contract over my life, be annulled in the fire of purity. Your words fall like hammers against invisible walls, and something shifts again. There's a release, a lightness that fills the room. You understand now that spiritual power doesn't come from complexity but from clarity. The more pure your faith, the more potent your declaration. Garlic, having released all its fragrance, has become empty, but emptiness in the spiritual sense is fullness. It has fulfilled its purpose, much like prayer that no longer needs words. Lemon, too, has given all its essence, a lesson in surrender. Together, they remind you that victory often comes when you let go. In the traditions of natural energy work, it is believed that when the physical substance breaks apart, its energy completes its mission. The garlic has transmitted protection, the lemon has transmitted cleansing, the water has become a carrier of blessing. Now, that energy circulates through the air, finding every shadow and illuminating it. You are no longer standing before a pot, you are standing before an altar. The fire is not beneath metal but beneath your spirit. The scent that fills your home is not simply aroma, it is vibration, a spiritual announcement that says, purity has taken residence here. As the steam continues to drift, imagine it as a cloud of light spreading outward, through your walls, your street, your city. Visualize this cloud blinding every force that has been watching you. Picture every spiritual camera shattered, every mirror darkened, every watcher turned away. You are not begging, you are enforcing divine order. At this point, let your consciousness travel inward. Feel the divine energy moving from your head to your feet, a river of warmth cleansing every residue of fear. This is energy transmutation, where the same fire that once caused pain now empowers healing. You begin to understand what the mystics meant when they said, the fire that burns you is the same that frees you. You can sense the stillness of victory settling into your space. Even the silence feels heavier, like the aftermath of thunder. What once was a place of anxiety now hums with serenity. Do not rush to end the act. Stay a little longer and simply be. Let your body absorb the peace that has entered the room. This is how transformation anchors, through stillness, not haste. The garlic and lemon have done their part. Now the spirit completes its work in you. When the fire beneath the pot dies down and the bubbling slows to silence, a sacred stillness fills the air. You can sense the shift, not only around you, but within you. The vibration of your space has changed frequency. The air feels lighter, yet stronger. It hums with an unseen equilibrium, as though the invisible guards of light now stand at every corner of your home. Do not hurry to remove the pot. This is the moment of divine pause, the afterglow of victory. The steam still lingering carries the last wave of prayer, rising like incense into the unseen. Whisper quietly. Let every curse dissolve. Let every darkness flee. Let every eye that sought me be blinded by light. You have entered what mystics call the sacred void, the space between prayer and manifestation. It is in this quiet that the miracle seals. The garlic and lemon no longer speak in scent or color, they speak in energy. Their frequencies continue to radiate protection long after the pot cools. What began as a visible act now becomes invisible power. As the mixture rests, reflect upon its symbolism. The garlic, strong, fiery, unyielding, represents the defensive nature of divine purity. The lemon, bright, cleansing, radiant, represents renewal and discernment. Together they teach you the balance of spiritual warfare. Fire without clarity burns wildly, but clarity without fire lacks force. You have united them, and in doing so, you have become balanced light. In ancient wisdom traditions, it was said that true purification happens not when evil departs, but when awareness awakens. This is that moment. You realize that the watchers were never stronger than your faith, they thrived only in your unawareness. Now that you see, they cannot remain. Light does not chase darkness, it merely appears, and darkness vanishes. Take a deep breath. Let the scent of lemon remind you that you are renewed. Let the faint echo of garlic remind you that you are fortified. Every part of you, mind, soul, and aura, begins to harmonize with divine rhythm. You are no longer a target, you are a temple. You are no longer under watch, you are under covenant. Now, prepare for the ritual of sealing, the grounding of the energy you have summoned. Slowly, extinguish the flame beneath the pot, saying, "Fire, return to source." Mission complete. Let the pot cool as you whisper gratitude. Gratitude is the bridge between manifestation and permanence. It turns fleeting miracles into lasting reality. Say softly, "Thank you, divine light, for blinding every dark gaze and restoring my peace." When you are ready, pour a small portion of the cooled water into a separate bowl. This will be used for anointing your space. As you move from room to room, dip your fingers lightly into the mixture and sprinkle it at the four corners, saying, "This place belongs to the light. No shadow may linger here. No evil may cross this threshold." Each drop becomes a seal, a symbol, a vibration of protection. You may not see it, but heaven records it. The energy in your home begins to hum differently, peaceful, alert, alive. As the final drops are poured, imagine every unseen eye dimming into darkness, every invisible chain melting into air. You are now surrounded by the fragrance of victory, garlic's strength, lemon's clarity, and fire's faithfulness. Now that the act is complete, you stand within an atmosphere transformed. The air feels awake, cleaner, yet charged, like the hush after a powerful storm. The unseen has rearranged itself around you. The watchers have lost their vision, and the light has taken dominion. You sense it in your breath, in the calm that settles over your chest, in the way the silence now feels like sanctuary instead of emptiness. Take a moment to look at what remains in the pot. To the natural eye, it's only water, garlic, and lemon. But to the awakened, it's evidence, the residue of victory. Every fragment within that pot has absorbed the energy of your prayer. Every bubble that once rose carried a message: purity reigns, light governs, darkness is defeated. Before discarding the water, speak these words softly. As this water returns to the earth, may it carry away every trace of evil, every curse, every unseen watcher that once sought my fall. Let it never return, for it has no authority here. Then, as the ancients did, pour it gently down the drain or into flowing water, a stream, a river, or the earth itself. Flowing water symbolizes movement and finality. It carries away the energy of the past and ushers in the clean vibration of renewal. When you release it, you are not throwing something away, you are sending it forth as witness, a testimony that what was meant for harm has been transformed into light. Now, cleanse your hands in cool water. Feel the sensation, the temperature difference, the texture of purity. This act is both symbolic and energetic. In many spiritual lineages, cleansing hands after ritual represents closing the energetic circuit, ensuring no lingering attachments remain. As you dry your hands, whisper, "My work is complete. My space is clean. My destiny is protected." Take a few moments to walk through your home in silence. Observe how the air feels different. The tension that once hung heavy has dissolved. Where there was pressure, there is peace. Where there was confusion, there is clarity. Garlic and lemon have not only purified your surroundings, they have recalibrated your energy field. You are now vibrating at a higher frequency of faith and awareness. Sit down and breathe slowly. This is where reflection begins, where the external act becomes internal revelation. Ask yourself, what eyes were watching me? What situations carried strange resistance? What doors once closed without reason? The spirit may bring memories, faces, or patterns to mind. Do not fear them. Awareness is the first gate of deliverance. What is revealed can no longer control you. You may begin to understand that some battles in your life were never physical, they were energetic. People, places, or things may have carried frequencies that opposed your light. Yet tonight, through obedience and faith, those frequencies have been neutralized. You have changed vibration, and vibration governs reality. In that realization, gratitude wells up again. Whisper, "Thank you for awakening my discernment. Thank you for breaking every unseen chain. Thank you for teaching me that simple obedience opens spiritual gates. This is not the end of your warfare, it is the beginning of your mastery. You have learned that divine protection is not a moment, it is a vibration maintained through awareness, gratitude, and purity. From this day forward, you walk as one who knows. The blind cannot harm those who see. The night has deepened, yet your heart is full of light. The act is done, but its energy continues to echo across realms. You have not only boiled garlic and lemon, you have boiled fear, delay, and oppression out of your atmosphere. You have purified your space and reminded darkness that it no longer holds dominion here. Now is the time to seal all that has been done with the most powerful vibration known to the universe, gratitude. Stand still, close your eyes, and feel the air around you. The same energy that once carried anxiety now hums with divine peace. Whisper slowly. Thank you, Lord of Light, for blinding every evil eye that watched me. Thank you for the fire that consumed darkness. Thank you for the peace that now fills my home and soul. Every thank you becomes a beam of light extending upward, building a bridge between your spirit and the divine. The more you express it, the thicker your protection grows, layer upon layer of radiant energy. Gratitude is the armor that keeps victory permanent. It tells the unseen world, the matter is settled. Now open your eyes. You will notice that even the shadows in the room seem softer. The silence feels alive, protective. This is the afterglow of deliverance, the peace that follows warfare. Remember, garlic and lemon were never the power, they were the vessels. The power came from your obedience, your voice, your alignment with the eternal law of light. As the ancients taught, energy flows where attention goes. So from this moment, guard your attention. Keep your words pure, your emotions steady, your heart uncluttered. Do not allow fear to reopen what faith has sealed. Whenever you sense heaviness or strange unrest again, remember this night, the night you learned to command light. You now know the pattern. You can always rise at midnight, boil, declare, and realign. This is not a superstition. It is a spiritual technology, a divine science of vibration and faith. Now lift your right hand slightly and speak the final declaration aloud. From this night onward, I walk in divine invisibility. My destiny is hidden under the light of God. Every watcher is blind. Every curse is reversed. Every mirror is shattered. Every door of blessing is open. Pause. Feel the power in your own words. Your voice has weight now because it carries conviction. Heaven has heard it, hell has registered it. You are not the same soul who began this act trembling in awareness. You are now the watcher, the guardian of your own destiny. Before you sleep, pour the remaining mixture at your doorstep or outside your home, declaring, this threshold is sealed by divine fire. No evil may cross, no darkness may dwell. Return inside, and as you lie down, feel the weight leave your body. You will notice the difference in your sleep, the dreams calmer, your spirit lighter. This is not imagination, it is evidence. You have restored divine order. Finally, make one last whisper. Lord, I thank you because you have turned watchers into witnesses and darkness into dust. I thank you because my home is light. As you drift into rest, know that unseen sentinels stand guard. Angels of fire patrol your threshold. Your name, once whispered in the gatherings of darkness, is now spoken with reverence in the halls of light. You are covered, renewed, and untouchable. Let peace be your pillow and faith your blanket. For tonight, and every night after, you dwell in the safety of divine light.